How's it going, everybody? Doing a Ghostwire Tokyo review here today. I beat this last night. This will be going up Tuesday. I beat it Sunday night. I'm filming it Monday, so I'm working tomorrow, so I need a video for tomorrow. This is a great game. I love this game. This game had me interested. I wanted to keep playing it. I started playing it last 9-10 days. It took me to beat it. Ended up putting 33 hours into it. I think it clocked me at 33 and change. I'm going to probably go back and do a couple other things. Because after you beat the game, it throws you back to you can save it there with all the stuff you had. And you can either start a new game with all the stuff you have, or you can go back to like chapter 4 before you hit a point where you go to the 5th chapter and you take out the final act, do the final stuff. So this game you play was his name Akito. You're at the beginning, you're riding around on a bike, and all of a sudden you hit something, you go flying, and this guy possesses you. And all of a sudden this fog rolls in and everybody disappears. Just their clothes are scattered all across Tokyo. And then you're not dead because the guy possessed you. His name ends up being KK. And he was like a paranormal investigator, hunter, ghost hunter type. It was him, Ed, Ringo, and Erica was part of the group too. And you're immediately trying to figure out what's going on. You go to see your sister, Mari. She's in a hospital. It's the first place you go, and the main bad guy's Hanya. And he's taking your sister because he wants to do this ritual. It's going to like open the between world. There's all these things, they're always opening up they're breaking down the barrier between the real world and the spirit world. And she's like a good vessel for it because I won't spoil anything, but like in terms of later game, but like she was close to death or whatever it was, and whatever his reasons are. So you have to cleanse the city and save your sister, and KK wants to take out this guy. Hanya does have, I think it's 3 other people with him. They have like masks on, they're dressed in certain clothes. I won't say who they are in relation to him. I'm pretty sure there's 3. There's definitely 2. You fought one of them really early on in the game. I forget stuff after it's like been a week. I'm like, wait, what happened? Nice. The game looks really nice. It's PS5, Xbox. This was PS5 originally. I think it was a timed exclusive. It's on X. It's Series X as well now. So this came out on PS5 before. I'm pretty sure before Microsoft bought Bethesda, or right as they were buying them. But they already had their contracts in with this, and I think Deathloop also Bethesda. So I think they were always going to be timed exclusives, but it looks nice. Like Tokyo looks great. Like I put a shot up on Instagram on my story, like of the late game shot that I took of the Tokyo Tower, and you're coming in. It just looked really nice. Really nice looking game. It's bright. It's lights out. The lights are on all over Tokyo. This. Even though you're in the city, you get like wood areas in the woods and stuff, and going down alleys and shit like that. You go into the underground as well, and subway systems and stuff like that. It's like the Assassin's Creed, where you have to cleanse Torii gates, because now because this stuff has happened now. The fog came all of a sudden. Yokai are out. These what do they call them? I actually called it up here because I wanted to. The visitors, they call them, these are the enemies you fight. So they have like what do they call them? They have there's a lot. There's like a good variation of enemies in this game. Visitors. You have the rain walkers. There's a couple different rain walkers. They have umbrellas. Some of them are stronger than others. There are students. So you have different students. They have no heads typically. The rain walkers have umbrellas and kind of look like Slender Man in some instances, although I would say Slender Man probably borrowed from that. The paper dolls they have ranged attacks, so they're throwing like fireballs at you. They have like paper faces. They look similar to the nurses in the Silent Hill games. There's a couple different variations of all these. forlorns are these little child things. If you get them from behind, they're gone. But if they see you, all of a sudden they disappear and a bunch of enemies appear. Shine dancers. There are flying enemies as well. A couple of different ones. There's this, like I said, there's a slit mouth. I can't pronounce how they actually say, but a slit mouth woman. There's regular versions, and there's ones in red raincoats that are super powerful. And there's other enemies as well. They all look cool. They have nice looks, good variation of enemies. There's a lot of different enemies. They all have really unique looks to them. They're usually based on the Japanese folklore and stuff like that. You have 3 different attacks. It's water, fire, and wind. Wind is the first one you start off with. You get the other 2 a little later on. I'm going to be all over the place here, like typically I am with these reviews. Like I said, everything looks good, though. The game looks good. Like, the effects on your water attacks and your wind attacks, fire attacks looks really nice. They all have different kinds. You hold in the right trigger for a bit, it charges up, and you get a more powerful attack with each one. Or if you push in the right stick, they'll do something different. Like the wind one's almost like a machine gun. He actually uses it kind of as that. With fire, you shoot a flame that lights people on fire, and if you upgrade it, eventually it'll blow up. The water one will slow down enemies, freezing them. And the water one has a wider range. It's regular attack. You get talismans as well. Stun ones where you can stun the enemies and kill them. Because enemies, when you start to wail on them a lot, their core will appear. And then that's when you can grab them and take their core. You can take their core from a distance, up close, or even from the air. You can get them. You can sneak up on them kind of in the air, but you can stealth enemies as well from behind. Stronger enemies will not go down immediately. You'll try to get them once, but then they'll break out. And then you got to kind of wail on them a bit. Like I said, all the enemies look good. The characters all look nice. I'd say the enemies look better than like the human characters in the game. The human characters look good too. Good draw distances and stuff. There's these other enemies. They're like kind of serpents. They go underwater, and the thing you see them swim around, they pop back up. And there's another one that's like a big blob. He disappears, starts throwing stuff at you. There's an aerial enemy that's tough, has a bunch of legs and spins around and throws stuff at you, then spins at you. It's a good variation of enemies in this game. There's 2 of them there. There's the rainwalkers and one of the students. You'll see them the most. Not a massively huge open world. Like I said, you have to cleanse these torii gates, and then the fog goes away. Like in Assassin's Creed, you go up and you get to the top of the thing and you scan and whatever, more stuff opens up. Side missions appear, hidden things, everything you need to do. Yokai, you're gaining XP from destroying things. You're collecting the spirits that are still floating around in groups in the world. You use your little Katsamuro, whatever it is, and you bring them in. Then there's phone booths everywhere. And that's where you put him into the phone booth, because the guy Ed, who was part of KK's team, that's how you get more experience points. You upgrade. I got to level 50. But you can collect it if you buy more of these things and get more of them. You can absorb more spirits. I think I had up to 40 at a point I could do. You can buy them from the yokai, the cat yokais, whatever they're called, or at all the vendors and in the convenience store selling shit. And some of the cats will be at special vendors, and they'll want you to find stuff, and then you bring them stuff, and you'll get talismans or beads, because you can wear beads as well. That you get by cleansing some gates. You'll get beads. You get them from the cats. You get them from other places as well. So I had like 3 level 3 beads on my fire attack. You can equip 3 at a time. At first it's just 1, then you get stuff, you can do more. Like I said, you can upgrade all your attacks. You have a bow as well, because sometimes KK will get pulled from your body, or there's just parts in the game where he gets grabbed. Some enemies can pull him out of you, and then you gotta hit L, the left trigger, I think, to pull him back. But you can still sneak up behind people and take them out, grab their core, or you can use your bow to shoot. And sometimes that's a little more annoying. There was a part where he was like almost like captive, and I was up top shooting bows at him. It actually worked fairly well. Because the enemies will try to suck out of you, suck his energy, little meters there. There's spirits all over the place. Some of them have afflictions, so there's like crutches stuck in them, or beams. And you gotta do, there's this thing you do with the right trigger, and you cleanse specters as well, and you got to do little shapes. And then you hit the L and R2 triggers and cleanse them. Like I said, the beads give you special powers, or like you have ethereal vision, I think it is. That's where you can see stuff. It's like a detective vision. All these other games that have this, it's like you see outlines of things and hidden things you can find, or statues where you find them throughout the game, and they'll add to your capacity of your like wind, fire, and water will go up one each time you find it. You'll get an extra shot, extra ammo, we'll say. There are tanuki you can find that are hidden. You gotta find them by their tail moving. That apparently is the last side mission too. You gotta find all of them. So I want to go back and do that because I found I think there's 40 something or some shit. I need to find 10 more, I think. I didn't find all statues as well. I was just like, you know what, I'm gonna do it. The boss battles in this game, the bosses look cool. The boss fights are a little bit underwhelming. They're not. It wasn't really a hard game. I did die. I actually had more trouble with some of the tougher regular enemies, like the slit-faced woman in the crimson raincoat. Took me out once, and sometimes because you get consumables, you buy them, you find them all over the game. There's stuff for your health, but sometimes you're just getting wailed on. You don't realize you gotta hit that health button. And you can upgrade your consumables. You can upgrade your bow. You can upgrade how quickly you pull out someone's core. All your attacks be upgraded. With the yokai in the game, they'll give you a little thing that you have to use to upgrade to another level of things. So you need some of those. There's a couple of different yokai. There's 5 or 6 different yokai. And you gotta do little side things for them too. And they all look nice because they're weird looking and stuff. Like I said, the cat yokai are the ones that are at the vendors, and they always want your shit. There's dogs and cats throughout the city everywhere. You can feed the dogs. I didn't realize you can feed the dog. No, wait. Yes, because it was early on. You can feed the dogs, and they will either lead you to a statue or they'll dig up coins for you. There's things you can punch. There's things in the game that you hit. They look like ethereal, whatever it is. It's like a shape of a car, a construction unit, whatever. A vacuum cleaner, whatever it may look like, and then you'll get ammo from that as well. SP or whatever. When you cleanse gates, there's a offering box you can throw into where it will show you where something is, or it will give you health or SP back. I think there's 40 plus side missions, and some of them are cool. The school one, someone mentioned in a comment when I first talked about the game, and then I ended up playing it that day. Really cool side mission. Pretty creepy actually as well. There was another cool one with a dragon that was going around on the ground. You had to cleanse it a bunch of times. There was a hide and seek one that was pretty good. There's some other good ones. The school one was actually fairly long. It was like a 2-part kind of one. That was probably the creepiest part of the game. There's also little toy machines you can get, little toys like in these games, collect them too. You can find KK's investigative notes, which will give you 20 extra skill points, which is nice if you're trying to level up. When you start getting the spirits, sucking the spirits in, you'll level up a bunch of levels real quickly. It didn't take me, getting to 50 was not a hassle, really. And I think there's 240,000 spirits. I got to 140. I was like, I'm not trying to get all of them. Some are in cubes in the bed. The enemies are trying to drain them, and then they disappear, so you gotta take them out before they get taken away, or whatever. There's the one yokai is just like a thing on the wall, and usually it's hiding a door or something like that. Like I said, there's just a lot to do in this game. It looks great. Like I said, all the effects look nice. It looks a little Tron-ish to me, and some things when things are blown up and shit. But the combat's nice. It's all, like I said, I didn't say this actually. It's a first-person game, but the combat's fun. And there's some strategy involved, as well with certain enemies. You gotta figure out their patterns. You can block too. You gotta block some things, and you can do a counter. The demon parade comes around randomly, which all of a sudden starts to rain. It gets really dark, and it's just a bunch of the demons walking around. Giant cat thing, another big thing. I forget what it was called. This bigger enemy that you encounter later on. I forget what some parts where you end up in like almost like a netherworld type scenario where you're kind of fenced into a certain area. You got to take out people. There's a cool mission where you went to the subway, like a hidden subway thing, to kind of like a spirit area. Cool side quests. Like I said, there's tons of stuff. There's graffiti you can find because you can take photos. And so you find graffiti and you get new stamps on your photos. You can get different emotes and shit like that. I didn't take many pictures. You can get spirit pictures where you have to find out where the person was and then cleanse their spirit. It's not a massively open game world, but I like that. I like that it's not a huge game, but there's a lot packed into the area. And like I said, I put 33 hours in. I did a ton. I did all the side missions. I gotta go back and find all the Tanukis. I can find all the relics for the cats, but there's a ton of them. And they'll give you talismans in return and other things. There's a updraft talisman that will shoot you up. There's the stun one where you stun them and you get behind them and take out their cores. There's one that will suck all the energy and stuff towards you, like the ammo, whatever it is called, towards you. There's one that will block the view or distract them as well. The Tengu are the things you can grapple and jump. There are other yokai that you can grab and jump up to higher places as well. There's an upgrade where you can actually spawn your own and launch up. But I just wanted to keep going back to this game. It was fun exploring and opening up new areas. When you clear the fog, more side quests pop up. The map ends up being full of things. Like, there's a lot going on. You can also find recordings, and you find people's phones, and you hear, like, all of a sudden they're like, oh my god, this fog's rolling. And so you get a little backstory of, like, these people's certain situations and stuff. Whenever you go up to the spirits, you hear them talking. But all the spirits, I don't want to spoil things. I don't want to spoil the end game, but like I said, the bosses weren't, the only things I didn't like, the bosses weren't overly hard, which I guess can be a good thing, because I wasn't getting pissed. I didn't die for a while, then I died a couple of times, because I wasn't focused on my things, and a couple of times I just got destroyed, like a few of the enemies just kicked my ass. But it's not an overly hard game. Some parts says corruption, or whatever they call it, and you gotta shoot the little core, and then it goes away, and then spirits will appear. Enemies will respawn, and they are chilling out in certain areas, but it's kind of funny. I was getting close to the end of the game, and it actually felt emptier because I collected more spirits and stuff. It just seemed like, side quests were done. Voice acting solid. I had it. It was in Japanese with the English subtitles. I'll always play it like that. It does have the triggers, whatever they call them, where it's like resistance. I turned it off for the gameplay, but I usually had it on where it resists, and it's like and stuff, and it's kind of cool. The adaptive triggers or haptic, whatever it's called. Made pretty good use of that. You hit the middle button on the PlayStation, and all your stuff comes up. I saved a decent amount, but it also it was set to autosave for 5 minutes, and after you do certain things, it autosaves. What else was there? Was something else to find in this? Tanukis, the statues, the graffiti, something else, and a bunch of relics you can find all. And when you get close to one, you'll hear a cat meow because it's indicating there's one near. Like I said, when you use your vision thing, all this stuff appears. You can upgrade that as well, so it goes further. I had one that really worked. It was the sleuth beads, and I used that to find his investigation notes. A little green thing popped out, and you'd follow it. You had to buy some from the vendors as well. There's phone booths everywhere, so you'll always be able to get your things. After I beat the game, beads unlocked to where I don't need a phone to send the spirits off or whatever. The missions are pretty good. I mean, some of the missions are a little repetitive, side missions and stuff, but, it's a lot of, oh god, you gotta kill a bunch of enemies, and then you can cleanse the spirit, But some are a little different. It's just a great game. It looks nice. The gameplay was fun. Some people said they didn't like the combat. I'm like, the combat was really fun. It never got boring to me. Like, every time I was ripping out a core, it just felt good, And some of the attacks look nice. They're fun to do, It's just a really good. I give this game a 9 out of 10. I really liked it a lot. I did not. This is the deluxe edition. There's also the spider threads. I guess it was an update at some point. I got achievements more at the school. I guess that school mission was part of that update or something. But those were all just in the game, and I was getting trophies for the stuff I did based on that. There's a couple trophies I want to go back and get. Like I want to go get the Tanukis. I don't care about the statues anymore. The characters are all cool, At first, he is like, the guy's possessing him, and he's like, I don't like this, and then they get used to each other, and they like each other and shit. It's just a really fun game. Like I said, I wanted to keep going back, and it wasn't overwhelmingly huge, like we'll say in Assassin's Creed Odyssey, but the game world's so big to where, like, I'm not going to get this. I kind of like the more condensed open world where it's big, but it's not huge, and there's still a lot to do in it. And you're running around. You can fast travel when you open certain things up, like to vendors and Torii gates, but because it's kind of nice when you're collecting, because there's a bunch of these special vendors, the cat vendors all over the place, and when you find a relic they want, you'll go to their thing and it'll have a check on it, so you know, okay, that's the one that wanted this one, because there's a lot of them, and if they didn't show that, you'd be going to each one, being like, who wants what? There's also, you can buy music as well, like the soundtrack music and stuff in the game. It just was a great world, looks good, the gameplay is fun. There was no, like, performance issues at all when I was playing it. There's just a lot going on. I probably forgot a few things. I always do. This is kind of the shot that I took right here, but it was different. It wasn't exact, but it was of that. And I was, like I said, I played 33 hours. I think it was 33 and change. And I did all the side missions except the Tanuki one. Because I didn't realize, I looked it up. I'm like, I thought I did all of them. And it said, collecting all the Tanuki, finding them all is a side mission. I was like, there you go. Because I'm looking on the map. I'm like, they're all checked off. Some will appear when you walk to a certain area, but I'm like, I covered everything here. Some side missions are like 2 or 3 parts as well. Like I said, you can feed the dogs. You can't feed the cats, but you can pet the cats and read the thoughts of the cats and the dogs and the Tanuki as well. Raccoons. Just a really... Pick this game up if you have either the Series X or the PS5, because it's good. It's a good game. It's different, which I like. It's not doing all types of different things, but it's just fun, different kind of gameplay. And it's these basic open world, it's open world. It's not like reinventing the wheel in open world games, but I wanted to keep going back and playing more. And that's a sign that I like a game. It's a little sad too. It's like, oh, I know it's ending now. It's not, the main story, I don't think is that long. Because I got to that 33 hours by doing all the side missions, running around, finding a bunch of stuff. Like I said, I didn't find anything, so I probably could have put another 4 or 5 hours in. Like, I didn't do all the photos. I didn't find all the statues or the Tanuki. But you don't need, it's not imperative that you have to get to a high level to take out the enemies. I think certain upgrades you'd want to get, but... And you never have to, like, oh, you get killed, and it's like, oh, the save, it does a good amount of saving for you. So you're not stuck doing, like, freaking hours worth of shit over, like, a half hour of crap. There are indoor environments that you go into, some houses. I said you go into the underground, the hospital, a couple other places, the school. It's just, check it out. I'm getting 9 out of 10. Like I said, graphically, it looks great. It's bright, it looks nice. All the enemies all look so good in this game, man. I love their designs, and there's a lot of them. There's a lot of different enemy designs. You'll encounter these enemies a lot, but there's a lot of some of these games, there's like 4 different enemy designs, and you come across them 1,000 times. This one, it's not like that. Bosses, underwhelming, but still look cool. Usually it's like you gotta bust out their core, you gotta pull the core out 3 times. Like the one I had to pull the tail off the thing 3 times. Oh, there's also little explosive things in play in the environment that you can shoot and they'll explode. It's just a cool game. It It really is. It looks nice. The gameplay is fun. Pretty cool story. If you're into paranormal type stuff and like Japanese folklore, you're really gonna be into this because you read what certain things are that you find cursed videotapes and all this other shit as relics. And it will tell you like about the yokai, like the story, oh, this is how it happens and stuff. So you get to learn some of that folklore as well, which is nice. Definitely check it out if you have one of the newer systems because it's definitely worth it. I got it for $20. It is not $20. I got it for $20 on Amazon during all the sales that were going on a couple weeks ago. Oh, this is rated T. I didn't even realize that. It's not bloody or anything like that. You know, there's no cursing and shit. It is just is there cursing in this? I don't remember anybody cursing. Maybe if you're playing it in English, you'll hear curses. It is violent, but it's violent like in spirits, really. I'm not saying it should be E for everyone, but that makes sense that it wouldn't be an M. But definitely a cool game. This is the people who made the 2 Evil Withins, and I love the Evil Within 2. I only played a bit of the first Evil Within, but the second one is awesome. And once again, that game had weird enemies and stuff like that, like weird looking bosses and stuff. That game was creepier than this. This game has its creepy moments, but it's not overly creepy. But yeah, that's just my review of Ghostwire Tokyo. This is the PS5 version. A 9 out of 10. Great game. Great start for me in completing a game on the PS5. So I gotta go back to Ratchet & Clank. And I will throw Spider-Man in. And download that onto the thing and then maybe give that a go when I have the Midnight Suns. But that'll probably stay sealed for a little bit. I think I'm gonna focus on these other ones first. But yeah. 9 out of 10. Thanks everyone for checking this out. And have a good day.